Outside of Italy, when people think of lasagna, they usually think of lasagna bolognese. But in Italy, there are dozens of different types of lasagna, including some made with vegetables or even fish. Many meat lasagnas use meatballs rather than a meat sauce, and bechamel sauce is seldom seen. There's really no point in my showing lasagna bolognese because there are many good recipes for that online already, and most serious cooks already know all about it. This is a version that is decidedly different and delivers an unusual flavor that always reminds me of my time working in Venice. The veal that I've chosen to grind for this is from a leg section. This muscle does a lot of work. It's going to have a lot of flavor, even though it's veal, which normally doesn't have all that much flavor. This section of veal will have flavor, and that's important here because we really want to taste the veal in the end. It's got a lot of other ingredients going on. If we used veal breast or something, it's just going to come off as just bland. You won't taste anything else. So I'm going to section this up, weigh it, and then I'm going to pass it through the grinder. If you buy ground veal, you won't get control of it like you do when you grind it yourself. So you're always better off grinding it yourself if you possibly can. Have the ingredients here that are going to get ground together and then mixed with the meat. I have 50 milliliters of cream, 50 grams of breadcrumbs, 60 grams of sausage. You have to see my notes about what kind of smoked sausage to use for that. I've got 30 grams of shallots, about 18 grams of cloves of garlic, about 6 cloves of garlic, egg yolk. In here in the seasonings we have 2 teaspoons of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 3/4 of a teaspoon of marjoram, 3/4 of a teaspoon of dried parsley, teaspoon of freshly grated lemon zest, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, also freshly grated, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. Now, in order to make sure this doesn't turn into a goopy mess, we're going to begin by first chopping this up coarsely, and the onions and the garlic, and grind those first. Then we'll introduce the breadcrumbs and the herbs, and then very last we'll add the egg yolks and the milk, so that we make sure that everything gets ground to a homogeneous state. Okay, I cut up the sausage a little bit and pulsed it a few times. Now I'm adding the shallots and the garlic. Now we're going to add the breadcrumbs. All the seasonings. We'll grind this some more before we add the liquid components. Okay, good. Here's that egg yolk. I'm going to give this a little grind first. And then, very last ingredient, the cream. We're back to this ground veal. I weighed out 450 grams. Now I'm combining the rest of the mixture. I'm going to turn off the camera because I'm going to use my hands to combine it. Do it gently, don't over blend it. Don't make the meatballs tough by kneading this. You're not making bread here. The ricotta was with egg, tomato sauce prepared according to directions at the start of the video. 45 grams of grated Parmesan, 120 grams of mozzarella, fresh mozzarella, 60 grams of grated provolone, the meatballs from earlier, and the basil. Begin by spreading a couple of tablespoons of the tomato sauce down. Dry off these sheets of pasta on towels, and then cut them and fit them so that they fill the bottom of the mold, the casserole dish. With this provolone in, all of it. Then sprinkle with the basil. Try to make it even, but the flavors will kind of even out as it cooks anyway. And then a little bit of the Parmesan, not too much, a little bit. A third maybe less than a third. Okay. Now, more pasta, another layer of pasta. On top of the next layer of pasta, and smooth out this ricotta with egg as a base layer here. Kind of like a bed to hold the meatballs in. Okay. You don't have to be too precise because it's going to level out as it cooks anyway. Okay, now we put the meatballs in. And get this distributed. Start putting the mozzarella in between, and as this melts, this is going to solidify. It melts and cools. It's going to solidify and hold all these meatballs together as a single layer. Okay, now more of the Parmesan. As soon as I spread this out, I'm going to put another layer of pasta over the top of this. Now, cover it with tomato sauce at the top here. And last of the Parmesan over the top, and it's ready to put in the oven. Here it is after an hour at 180 degrees.
If you want to know more about my adventures as a chef around the world and have some great laughs along the way, be sure to check out the video tour of my book, 40 Years in One Night. It's up on YouTube right now. Click the link. If you like my videos, look for my cookbook, now available through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other internet bookseller sites. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.